on yet, but that's okay. We can always save this. Hi, there we go. Now we've got someone on. Good morning. This morning's meditation is a walking meditation, but like any good meditation, we want to start with some intention. And so I already did my full morning meditation this morning, waking up earlier and earlier, like forcing myself to stay in bed so I'm not waking up at 3 a.m. But this morning's meditation, I felt it wasn't like a thoughtless meditation. Well, at the end it was, but throughout it, I just had a lot of ideas. A lot of ideas of what could be our message this morning. And yes, I said ours, not mine, not yours, but our message, because we're a community as much as we are being required to be spacious right now. I'm not going to use the word distant anymore because we're not. We're all connected, and if anything, this epidemic or epidemic, whatever it's called, has shown us more than ever how connected we are, that one person all the way in East Asia can influence the entire world over the course of just 4 or 5 months. So let's start this new contagion of community, of intention for healing, for space to heal, and for loving awareness. And so that is our intention today, to keep moving through the loving awareness, that we are not limited, that we are still free, that no matter how much it seems our freedoms are being taken away, even if we can't go outside, we still have the freedom to move, to maximize, and to appreciate the moment and the space that we have. So here we go. We are going to close our eyes, and slowly start to take the awareness inwards, coming into the breath, knowing that the other thoughts are still okay. It's not that they're not invited to this party, we're just not interacting with them, okay? And so as you breathe in and out, you can start to bring that attention into each inhale and into each exhale, starting with the natural spontaneous rhythm, feeling all the different sensations that occur in the body, one sensation at a time, through the length of the inhale, through the transition into the exhale, and then the entire exhale itself. And then allowing yourself to slowly steady the breath by breathing in just from the belly, then from the ribs, and then from the chest. Easy transition without any hesitation at the top, releasing from the chest, from the ribs, and from the belly. Continuing to do this on your own, finding the breath fill the body from the bottom to the top, and then from the top to the bottom as you release. Creating a seamless experience between each inhale and exhale. What this breath represents, it's not just air, it's not just oxygen. This breath is your prana, it's your vital energy. It's the message from life that says, keep moving, keep going. And when the breath gets shallow, when the breath gets disturbed, there's still this inherent instinct to keep going, to keep moving. And that's what this meditation is to keep on rowing your boat gently down the stream, rowing into the rapids, and then eventually allowing yourself, as soon as you find your rhythm, to enjoy the scenery around you. intentionally breathing in and breathing out. Full belly breaths. And then come to standing. So I learned this style of walking meditation actually during Hurricane Irma when I went to go stay at the ranch of Modern Elm. That's the meditation and mindfulness company that I work with. And this is based off of the idea of the medicine circles. So those are those labyrinths that the Native Americans used in order to heal mental, spiritual, and physical diseases. And so the idea of a labyrinth is it looks like a maze. It's a circle. The idea of a labyrinth is it looks like a maze, or it looks like a circle. And it's the same way out as you get in. So what you do is you walk through this direction. It looks like you're going to come up to all these walls that are going to stop you and you're going to have to go back. But it's always just one path in, one path out. And it's representative of what it is to actually travel through the labyrinth of your own mind. So, without getting too metaphorical and esoteric, this is just a training for us to learn to focus on the path that we're on so that we can remember how to get out. And so, wherever you are, if you're in your house, or if you have found a space outside with enough room to walk around, I am personally only going to be walking in this area here. This is my little courtyard. There's a screwdriver in the middle of it. And from this little courtyard, I'm going to walk a clear and defined path. What this courtyard represents to me is boundaries. Boundaries of the space that we can move in, which we've everywhere globally, we've been giving these boundaries of where we can move. So how am I going to maximize this space? How am I going to maximize this time that I have to keep on moving in infinite directions within these boundaries? And then how am I going to find my way out? So in order to do that, I need to have this mindful awareness, this meditative awareness. So that's why I start with that breath, because it helps to center my focus inwards, despite all the thoughts that are still occurring, at a steady rhythm. And then I'm going to start looking at my feet. I'm personally going to do this barefoot, because I like being barefoot. So you start off looking at your feet. Now the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take a deep breath, and you're just going to put one foot in front of the other. As you exhale, inhale, put the other foot down. Nice and slow, allowing yourself to spend time with each placement of the foot without lifting the other foot until you've got all of your weight supported by the next step. They do this in Tai Chi as well. It's heel-toe walking, and you're allowing yourself, with your eyes open, to not only observe this one pointed awareness, but to start to absorb the sensations of the earth beneath your feet. To absorb the sensation of your body's weight shifting from one foot to the next. Feeling just within this easy walking rhythm the push and pull of life's rhythms. Keeping your breath steady and constant. Being mindful of where you place your feet. Making sure each step is supported before you lift the other one. Allowing yourself to intentionally slow down for a moment. Keeping the strides even. And at the moment, I'm noticing the colors, the textures, the visual textures, the sensational textures. Just watching one foot move in front of the other. And in the medicine wheel, you also learn to observe the thoughts that are arising. What are the issues at hand? What was your intention in this meditation or in this medicinal process to keep moving? And you just follow an easy, straightforward path. Well, straight around spiral path at the moment. And within this space, I have so many different options of how I can move. I can make a hard right and then move forward. I can observe the temperature of the ground without complaint, without judgment. If the floor is cold, just observing that it's cold. If the ground is warm, observing that it's warm. Now, that's not to say there's not judgments that are going to arise, but we don't need to subscribe to those judgments. You can allow those to just be a reaction of the mind rather than being the basis of your mood. Because your mood will create habits, patterns, if you allow yourself to surrender into them. But you can also choose your mood to just be of one of loving awareness, loving all experiences as they come, even with challenges. So keep on slowly putting one foot in front of the other at a nice steady pace. Heel toe stepping. Maybe spreading your toes so you can feel each and every toe ground down. And before you lift your back foot, make sure all of your weight is supported by the front foot. And as you're participating in your walking meditation, participate also in the direction that you traveled. You can observe textures without actually having to touch them. That's the beauty of our memory. So one at a time. Just keep on moving. So at this point, you can start to slowly make your way back to whatever your home base was. And now starts the second part of your walking meditation. Now, you need to remember the journey. You need to backtrack your path. Now, that doesn't mean walking backwards. I don't want you running into anyone or anything. But instead, you're going to walk along the same path that you took. Now, it's okay if you don't remember it exactly. That's the nature of exploration of what seems to be finite space. It helps to teach us that there's infinite possibility even in what appears to be a finite space. So I'm going to do my best to remember the direction in which I walked. I'm going to go backwards amongst that path. For myself, I kind of knew what was coming, so I kept my path pretty simple. But I was talking the whole time, so we'll see. And then you can start to turn your vision upwards. This is the point where you can start to look around slowly, not too suddenly, and observe the world around you for the communication from your environment. I believe that when we are held in what appears to be a finite space, that means our answers are right here in front of us if we just open our eyes and observe without judgment, without applying meaning to what we see, but allowing ourselves to feel the meaning, absorb the meaning, not based off of past memories, not based off of what we want the meaning to be, but just going off of all 6 of our senses. So that's the 5 tangible senses of the body: touch, sight, smell, sound, as well as the sense of the mind. What are the messages of the mind that are showing up? And rather than engaging with them and subscribing to any of these paths, release them. The messages that you are meant to retain will be retained. And just having that faith, that trust. So you keep on moving on that same path. Just observing. Staying with that slow, steady breath. Slowly and intentionally, balanced and supported by your own feet beneath you. Seeing the infinite possibility of movement, the infinite possibility of messaging that's coming to you in this space, a space that is deemed to be a healing space, not only for yourself, but a healing space for the interconnectedness of our community, our society. Maximizing our awareness into this moment. So rather than having just this empty void of time where we're trying to kill time, taking a loving awareness into each moment, into each step, into each breath, to observe the world around us. Allowing ourselves to fall in love again with each and every one of these sensorial experiences. And as we allow ourselves to move much more slowly, much more intentionally through each of these movements, through each of these moments within what appears to be a finite space, we begin to master this space so that we can maximize its benefit. And this level of intention, this level of prana and energy that we put into each and every one of these breaths, each and every one of these steps, can then be multiplied, as is the laws of nature. The good news is anything we don't use, nature has a tendency to redistribute our waste and turn it into resource. So if our senses overlook something, anything that we don't use, nature does as well. Nature will use it for us. But if you're really looking to maximize your moments during these times, then you will want to utilize as much of this time as we have for whatever intention that we are setting. So if our intention is just simply to get through it, then we can utilize this time to create this strength. We can utilize this time to create this power of will, power of patience. And as you slowly make your way back to home base, with the medicine wheels, this is a time that you would say a prayer. Now, if you're not the praying type, because I know you're atheist or agnostic, or you just don't know who you would be talking to, prayer doesn't have to be speaking to God. Prayer doesn't have to be speaking to nature, speaking to spirit. Prayer can simply be having that internal dialogue with your future self, or your higher self, your evolved self. That internal dialogue of gratitude. I always start with gratitude first. And then setting a resolve or a resolution for who it is that you would like to emerge as from this cocoon that we have all been placed in. So we can look at this time as being a prison, as being an entrapment of our freedoms, or we can look at it as being a cocoon, a way for us to emerge with flight, with beauty, as the universe's smile to the rest. We have a choice. We are not as limited as it seems if we allow ourselves to maximize the infinite opportunities that we have within our present moment. Within this present moment here, of just my little courtyard, there's a multitude of different directions I could take. I can maximize this space to do a yoga practice. I can maximize this space to do a walking meditation. I can maximize this space to take sun, since I'm not allowed to go to the beach anymore, to meditate. There's so much infinite possibility, even between just 1 inch, 1 centimeter, 1 millimeter. It is only our perception that adds the limits. I love you all so very, very much. Thank you. I am now, I found out how I can save these and put them onto YouTube. So I'm creating a YouTube channel with all of these meditations that we're doing in the morning. So if 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is too early for you, no worries. I'm still going to be doing this because it's giving me a sense of purpose every single morning during this. And I think we all need that. Something to wake up for, someone to wake up for. And if the only person you're waking up for is a little icon that says there's 5 people watching you, you know what? That is maximizing your moment. So I will see you all tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. I love you all.